In this video, I want to introduce you to the second generation 180 watt large LED panel from D&O Lighting. Now, to be fair and upfront with you, I wasn't going to take a look at this light. I have aperture lights everywhere. I have 6 tri-8s. I have HD, whatever they are called. I have LS mini 120s. I have LS 1/2s. I have so many aperture lights because I love them. And I really wasn't going to take a look at this and review this light, but I was looking at the specs and I was looking at the company, and actually, this thing's pretty much the bomb. Let's take a look at this, go through some of the different features, and I'll tell you who this should be good for towards the end of the video. Now, this thing is really, really bright. This light is currently setting at just over 8 feet, and it's right now at 8%. Let's turn it off. So you'll see it throws some light, right? Let's turn it back on. Well, let's yank this thing up. That's at 100%. That's some serious light throw. It throws some light. I would not suggest looking into this light directly, because I think you would just basically burn your retinas out. You can see that even at 8%, it throws a nice light, and it's also quite a nice diffused. I'm going to turn this around at 8% so I don't blind you. It's got nice diffusion on it. It has the barn doors, which I really appreciate. They're all adjustable, and you can take the barn doors off, and I like that you can sculpt the light that you're shooting out of the LED however you want. It still throws a really nice white light even with the barn doors closed off. I like that. Now, unlike a lot of other lights, let's open up these barn doors with 40 or 80 or whatever degrees. I don't remember what the angle of light that this thing throws. I'll put something up somewhere with a little card or something that tells you, but it's quite wide. It's like 120 degrees or something, which really surprised me. Now, one thing I did notice is as I up at 5600K, as I up this, and I'm close to the light, I can hear a very, very, very slight buzz, which seems to kick in at around 75 or 80%. I'm gonna turn it all the way up to see if you can actually hear that. The fact is it's so slight, it wouldn't bother me. I don't think I would have a light of this caliber sitting next to a microphone a foot away, blasting someone with light and worried about a little buzz from this. I'll check with D&O and note in the description below whether this is because of a faulty unit or maybe it's something I'm doing wrong or not. But that being said, the fact that this thing has no fans, I'm so happy with no fans. It's the same with my tri-8s, which I adore, no fans. The Aperture Mini 20s, the LS, I love the lights, I love the form factors, I love the Fresnel on the front, I love everything about them. The only thing I don't like is they have fans. That's fine if you're shooting far away. Usually I'm shooting pretty close with things, and I start hearing a fan. Maybe it doesn't bleed through on my audio, but it sure drives me crazy. So I just don't like the fan thing. That may be my personal opinion. Now, how bright is this thing? It's really, really bright. And I'm not gonna go through the test. It specs out at 10 feet at a CRI of 97 or a little more. I've seen some other videos where they actually did tests with light meters, and I won't bore you with all that, where they got around 97, 97.2 CRI from 10 foot away, something like 35 foot candles or something like that. All I know is this thing blasts light big time. Now, it does come with a remote control, which I appreciate. Power on and off, the dimmer plus and minus, the color temperature plus and minus, and then preset settings for 5600K, 4500K, and 3200K. As I hold down the button, it slowly dims up. It's slowly intensifying to 100%. And there we go. The same with the color temperature. I can hold down the button and we're running the color temperature down to 3200K. It has a 5600K, 4500K, and 3200K button. So when I press this, there's 4500K, there's 5600K, and there's 3200K. Thing I don't like about this remote, and it's not a big deal, if I'm trying to dim down, you'll notice on apertures, it's very silent. That's the only thing I don't like about this remote, but to be fair, it's gonna be really rare that I have this large light lighting something, probably from far away, and collecting audio for a real live take, and I'm gonna be sitting there doing this. It's not gonna happen. It just is not gonna happen. That would be a weird situation, and if it was, I would probably be using some other light. So the remote's cool, except for the clicky thing. That's my own personal thing. I'll get over it. Now let's start with this cord. It's very beefy, and the thing I really like is it's a positive lock. You just shove this in here, twist, and that is not gonna come out. There's no way. It's got a very nice display here that you can see what your settings are. It's currently at 8% and 5600K. The knobs are nice. We can slow dim up, or if we really yank it fast, it'll jump up to 100% and on down. It's interesting that I can set the K values right now on how I want the light. I haven't even turned it on yet. So let's turn it on. Okay, now we're on. I like that you can do that. It's powered, you can set the values to the thing. Like say you wanted to set it to 5600K at 50%, you knew where you were, and then you could set those and then turn it on and get that. Let's take a look at this thing. This, like I said, this thing is really bright. Let's look at the color values. Again, you can twist between the color values. I'm now dialing through the color values slowly, or I can yank it all the way down. There's 3200K, which obviously you can see is quite yellow. Yank it all the way up, that's 5600K. Let's turn that down a bit so it isn't so irritating. Now, this here we're going to get to in a moment. This is the AC power, 90 to 260 volts. And this is the DC power, 12 to 36 volts, and we'll get in that for a second. This little guy right here, that's for the remote, so it can sense the remote. And then of course the on-off switch, which I like. I like the positive on-off switch. I also like that nearly everything on here is metal. The heat sink on here, it may seem ridiculous. The reason it's on there is because we don't have fans, which is a thumbs up for me. Fans, when you're close in with audio or within 5 or 10 feet of your talent and you're trying to get good audio and you have fans, it is so frustrating. You're just not gonna like the light because of that at all. Next thing is we have this over here. It's a metal yoke and quite positive fixture on the side, both sides. Now, of course, on the front, let me turn this down for you. That's at 8%. Like I said, it's a really bright light. On the front, you have these barn doors, which are pretty huge. You simply close these up for storage when you go to put the light away in the included case, which I'll show you in a moment because that's beefy. And then we can sculpt the light however we want. But barn doors are awesome. They're always nice and they're always great. For instance, if reason for barn doors, if I happen to be lighting this way and I don't want the bleed from the light coming over, I don't know if you can see this, I don't want the bleed from the light coming over and hitting me in the face or hitting a talent or bouncing off of something, you just take the barn door and you close it down. That's why these are fantastic on any lights you have and why I love that they include these barn doors. Do want to show you this. Built into this unit is this V-mount. Now this is for high-end batteries in case you don't want to use the plug, which by the way, I think I measured this plug. It's something like 16 feet or something like that, which is awesome. There's nothing worse than when you get a light and it has a cord this long and you're like, oh, and I don't see this going bad anytime soon at all, which I also really appreciate. You're probably familiar with lower end, low cost lights where you just have a plug and you plug them in and they turn on and off. And then maybe they're powered by these little Sony batteries. For a light of this size and this wattage, you're not going to use little Sony batteries. You're going to need something a lot more powerful to power it for the day when you're shooting. Let me show you that. Now, this is a large, very large, high-powered battery that you can buy separately from this same company or other companies. You just basically mount the battery on the back of this and you get plenty of shooting time using one of these batteries. If you happen to have like this one, this happens to be what's called a gold mount instead of a V mount, you can certainly buy adapters that will plug into the V mount and allow you to mount your gold mount batteries, or you can just get batteries that have a V mount. And it simply clicks in and clicks out and it stays in place right there, and you're good to go for quite a long shooting day with these high-powered batteries. Now let me show you the other thing they sent me, which kind of blew my mind. If you really want to get into like some serious battery stuff, well, check this out. Now, as I said, you have another connector here. I'll show you the battery that they sent me in a minute, which is going to blow your mind if you're not used to this. And it has like an XLR type connector. Now, don't try and rig or stick your XLR cable in here. This is a 4-pronged, like that, and it locks into place. Now I've moved the light up that way because I want to show you what else they sent me. This looks like a little briefcase. What this is, this is a 900 watt battery. I will put some specs and stuff up here on how long it will last. I gotta imagine it's gonna last at least a day, if not more. This thing is a beast. It's got 2 connectors over here, a little switch over here, and that's pretty much it. This thing weighs 13-ish pounds, so it's kind of heavy. Let's plug it in. I have power up there. Let's turn the light on. And of course, the light's working. This thing, you know, I'm not sure, you wouldn't want to be carrying this around, you know, all the time. It's a stationary object. Now you might be wondering, what am I gonna do with this giant freaking chunk of a battery? That's why they include this net. This net you put in here, you just make sure you put both ends over there to hang it. And then it just hangs there on your light stand as pretty as can be. I mean, obviously you're not gonna mount this. These light stands are cheap. I'll put a link below. I think there's like 2 of them, metal beefy light stands are like $79 or $100 or something like that. You're not gonna put it on one of those cheap, crummy little $12 light stands that are, you know, like this big and waver all over. Nor would you mount this light on one of those light stands. Anyway, this thing's really cool. It comes with a few other things. Let me show you those too. Now we have the same as this, an extra cable, which you could plug in. There's 2 power outlets on this massive chunky battery. You can just plug that in and power something else. I haven't tried it, but I'm pretty sure that you can daisy chain these together to get a longer cord. Oh heck, let's try that. Maybe I'll blow it up and then D&O will call me an idiot or something. Yeah, sure enough. I thought so. I just daisy chained the 2 cords they supplied together. You wouldn't normally do this, which gives me a lot more length in case I want to drop this thing closer to the floor or something like that. But I like that they give me 2 cords. The other thing they give you, of course, the battery charger. It's a standard battery charger, gives you a light, tells you when it's charged. It's got a pretty long cord. I'd say this thing, all told, is about 8 feet. You could, I would assume, run this as you're powering it. That also plugs in here. This plugs into your AC outlet and you're ready to go. Now this is a European UK company. So I would imagine, I haven't checked the website yet, but I would imagine they supply it with both the 3-prong US plug and then the 4-prong, or what it is, that weird looking, whatever the guys use over in the UK type prong connector. Now the next thing they include with this battery, which I really appreciate, again, the 4-prong XLR jack. This is a D-tap connector. If you don't know what a D-tap connector is, I'm not going to go into it right now. It's a bit too complicated. Let's just say it's a special type of connector that you'll find on certain monitors, certain batteries, certain devices. And the fact of the matter is they include 3 of these on this connector, which I appreciate. So if I were going to D-tap into my audio recorder and D-tap into my camera and D-tap into my monitor, I'm covered with one of these on this particular battery. This battery isn't just for lights. It can be for other lights. It can be for your equipment, your gear, your camera, your audio, your monitors, all that stuff. I probably wouldn't use it here in the studio so much. But if I'm gonna go out and shoot and I'm thinking, wow, I gotta shoot and I'm probably gonna be out there for maybe 2 or 3 hours, that usually turns into 8 or 12 hours, I would definitely, without a doubt, bring this whoop cool battery with me to make sure I got enough power out in the forest or whatever to make sure that I don't run out of power and I got a bunch of people standing around ready to shoot me in the face. Anyway, they told me they were sending a battery and I thought they were going to send me a little V-mount battery. So that's really awesome. Thank you, D&O, for supplying this equipment so I could actually show it to my viewers. The other thing I need to mention is the light comes in this massive padded, this thing's like a suitcase. When it showed up, I was like, what is going on here? I wouldn't have a problem throwing this in as luggage. The internal, it's all protected and everything else. I might put some foam in there. I'll have to check with the guys at D&O and see if they suggest that. And then the other thing, let me grab this other thing. Got this, it said LED light. I thought, whoa, what's that? Because remember, I thought they were sending me a little V-mount battery and I picked this thing up and I was like, what the heck is this? This is what the battery sits in. Again, these are really, really good cases. Let me see if you're able to see this. Yeah, these are they're really tight. They're really padded. This is tough foam. The battery sits in here, all the cords and cables sit in there and stuff like that. So the cases are great. That's the other thing I just wanted to make sure I mention. Sometimes you buy lights or you buy equipment and maybe you pay $200 or $300 or $400 or $500 for it. And it comes in a box, especially larger equipment. And you're like, well, how the heck am I going to get that somewhere? And then you have to make your own box or you have to go out and buy a Pelican case or whatever. These aren't cheap little cases. They spent some dough on manufacturing these and label these cases. This is a real plus for me that I can just get equipment like this and then when I need it, just throw it in my trunk or throw it on a plane and I'm good to go. I think it's great. I think if you need a larger panel light like this, you want something more professional and especially without the fans, check before you buy a product and find out if it has fans or not. That's the light, that's the crazy battery. I hope that helped. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next time. Now, as I said, you do need to be careful. This thing is all the way up, and if you turn it all the way up to full power, you don't want to look into the front of the light because it will burn your retinas off. See? No retinas.